Howdy everyone, welcome. Day 24, I cannot wait until the 28th of May. Welcome everybody, how you doing today? This is DSA at 52 special. So what does that mean? Dr. Sunday Adelaja at 52, we're having a special program all throughout the month of May, and today is the 24th day. So we've been having a program every single day to learn from the life of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. He would be 50, this will be the 52nd year of him being on this earth, and in that time he has achieved so much that it is inspiring, of course it's empowering, and we know that it's all from his Father in heaven, but he executed that. So when I say that, please don't get me wrong. God is not going to do anything for us that he hasn't already given us the ability. Dr. Sunday Adelaja is somebody that has used his ability and his full potential, and we are learning from his life today and for the past 23 days. And we have a few more days to go until his actual birthday on the 28th of May. I'm really excited about that. Welcome everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you're good. It's Friday. I know a lot of people like Fridays. I mean, being in England, I know that Friday is like a special day for some reason, because you know most people will not go to work on Saturday and Sunday. But for me now, I know every day is important, so I just want to rejoice with you because, you know, Friday is a special day. But anyhow, today we are going to talk about DSA'S charity. Yes, DSA'S charity. That's Dr. Sunday Adelaja's charity. And I'm going to introduce who is going to speak in a moment, not too far away. But in the meantime, I just want to make some announcements to you. But before I make that announcement, I want to greet you first. Good morning. If you are from a place, or you're watching from a place where it is morning right now, good morning. Good afternoon. Likewise, if you are somewhere that is afternoon right now, good afternoon. And good evening if you're watching from somewhere that is evening right now. Thank you. We appreciate you for joining us today, and we appreciate you for liking this page, subscribing to this channel, and also subscribing for notification. Please guys, do the honors and share. So especially if you're on Facebook, you can share this onto your page. Go ahead and do that now, or you can share to different groups on Facebook, or you can actually copy the link and send the link to a WhatsApp or a messenger so that other people will be able to see this video. Thank you very much for joining us. I've said that already. I just like saying thank you because I appreciate you so much, and I want you to know that I do appreciate you. And of course, this is Dr. Sunday Adelaja's page, and we are celebrating Dr. Sunday Adelaja's life. We are not going to wait until he's dead or is no longer with us before we start celebrating him, and we're celebrating different aspects of his life. And when I say celebrating, it's not just to party and drink. It means to also learn from his life and be inspired to do better. Okay, so learning and being inspired to do better, that is what I mean by celebrating his life. Right, you can see on your screen right now, there's a new book that Dr. Sunday has published. Is now available to pre-order on Amazon, only $3.99. Yes, that's all, $3.99. And if you look at this title, you know, for the past 3 days or so that I have been announcing this book, I have been thinking a lot, especially because the title has provoked me to think a lot about money. The title is Money, Riches, Wealth. Until you know the difference, you are not free. That's the part that got me. Until you know the difference, you are not free. That really got me, because I have to be honest with myself. I'm not so sure, I wasn't so sure that I know the difference between money, riches, and wealth. And I know there are many people around the world, all over the world, that are in the same shoe as I am, or they're even in worse shoes. So please Let us avail ourselves. It's only $3.99 right now. If you go to Amazon, you can pre-order this book, Money, Riches, Wealth. Until you know the difference, you are not free. I don't know the difference, and I think, okay, I am free. I am free. I'm not having that. I am totally free, but I will know by the time we get to this, by this time next month, I will be totally free because I will know the difference, all right? So I'm not feeling sorry for myself. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Please share this. I know some of you are already sharing, but some I'm not sharing at all. I've not shared at all. If you haven't shared this, please do so. Thank you very much. Right, I didn't tell you my name. My name is Mayowa Olia. Just call me Mayowa. I'm cool with that. And let me just give you the announcements now. Number one, but throughout this presentation, we're going to have a great time. So enjoy, relax, all right? And write your comment in the comment section. And also, if you want to share your thoughts on the program after the presentation, you can do so. And you can do so by calling Move Agents on Facebook Messenger. So if you're watching from another platform, you will need to go to Facebook and look for a profile name, Move Agents, and call through that messenger, but after the presentation. And the way you call is not by dialing us, just register your interest during the program now or during the presentation. Let us know that you're interested in calling to share your thoughts, to share your idea, or to give us some sort of feedback regarding this presentation today. And then we will call you once there's once we're making call, once we're returning the calls, or once we finish the presentation. So that's the first announcement. Move Agents on Facebook. Register your interest. You can just write hi. I mean, if you write hi, we know that you want to call in during the program, all right? Or you can just write, I want to call in. Secondly, I want to remind you that because this month is Dr. Sunday Adelaja's birthday, we have decided to give you all of Dr. Sunday's books at a discounted rate. Hooray! So this person's birthday, this Dr. Sunday's birthday, rather than expecting present from you, he's gifting you his wisdom, his time, his experience in life, and is even doing it by reducing the cost to you to get the books. So why don't you send us an email? If you're interested, send us an email of the books that you want and the quantity. And the email address is dsasbooks@gmail.com. That's dsasbooks@gmail.com, and we would honor your order by giving it to you at a discount as long as we receive the email in the month of May. Rest assured, you will get it as a low discounted rate. You get as many books as you want at a discounted rate. Thank you all again for bearing with me. Without further ado, guys, I know you're eager to get on today, so am I. I can't wait to go through this presentation with the presenter today. I cannot wait, and I would like you all to welcome right now Pastor EDWIN AMIMI. Hello, Pastor EDWIN.
Hello, good evening. It's
Good evening.
Here.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, good morning to our other viewers who are from different parts of the world and who have different time zones with us.
Yes. They can hear you, so go ahead.
Yes, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity today to celebrate the life and the impact of Dr. Sunday Adelaja, particularly his charity, because there are many aspects to DSA. He's a father, he's a pastor, he's an inventor. There are just so many sides of him. And for giving me the opportunity to talk about the charity aspect of DSA. It's something I do not take for granted. So thank you for everyone that has joined us today and those who are going to join us later. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you, Pastor Edwin, and thank you for honoring our invitation.
Good. So today I'll be talking about DSA's charity. But first and foremost, I would like to talk about how I got to know DSA and how I met him. That is my first encounter with Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Then we used to call him Pastor Sunday Adelaja. So there's this conference that I've been attending since 2003 in Abuja. And that conference was organized by a popular man of God in this country called Bishop Francis Waloki. I attended several times, but precisely in 2006, Dr. Sunday Adelaja happened to be one of the guest speakers. And you know, in my life, I've met quite a number of pastors, both from Nigeria and outside Nigeria, you know. But there was something that stood out. The first time I heard Pastor Sunday preaching, it was at the Abuja National Stadium, February 2016. And I can still recall precisely some of the messages that Dr. Sunday Adelaja preached. That's 13 years ago. You know what it means for someone to remember a sermon that was preached 13 years ago? Because of the impact that message had in my life. One of the messages he preached was the root of national decay. The root of national decay. Then, another message that he preached in that program was, is the gospel dead? Or are we preaching the wrong gospel? I got the CDs of those messages and listened to them until the CDs could no longer play. I think somebody collected the message and then couldn't return them again. I've listened to those messages more than 10 times, probably 15 times. I have never in my life heard a preacher preach like that. I had never seen a preacher that preached like that. In fact, there was somebody that was sitting down by my side when Pastor Sunday was preaching at the stadium. His name is Professor Vincent Anigobu, and he's somebody that is known to some members of the platform and the DSA family. He had to like tap me at the back to say, take it easy, because I couldn't sit on my seat again. It was so touching. I stood up, and the whole stadium, everywhere, everyone was touched by that message. And I saw something very interesting there. I need to give this preamble before I will go into some of the slides. I I saw the Europeans that came with him in the program that day. They, in fact, some of them knelt down to kiss the soil of Nigeria in appreciation to God for the land of Africa, giving them a person like Pastor Sunday. They brought flowers to appreciate Nigeria and to appreciate Africa. That flower was presented to the then president of Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria as the leader of the Christian, the umbrella body of Christians in Nigeria, all in appreciation to God. They were so touched, they were so grateful, because Dr. Sunday Adelaja had laid down his life for them and their country, and they came to appreciate Nigerians and Nigerian pastors who were at the meeting. So knowing DSA has been a great blessing to me, has been a great blessing to my ministry. There's a picture where in the slides, I don't know if that slide is available now. Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. Hello? Looks like your microphone is off. Hello? Okay. So, then after that conference in 2006, I found my way to the internet to look for Pastor Sunday's email address. And I started writing him from 2006 for like over 6 months or so. I wasn't getting response. I wasn't getting a reply. I didn't know whether he didn't see my mail or probably it was deliberate. He wanted to know how serious I was. But after some time, I persisted. I didn't give up. I kept writing and writing and writing. Then Dr. Sunday Adelaja began to reply my mails, and why I'm saying it, why I'm bringing this at this point is because there are a lot of people who are taking for granted the accessibility of DSA today. That DSA is available. I mean, he talks to people on Messenger and replies their mails. Well, maybe some of them didn't pay the price that some of us paid. But I knew I paid the price of consistency and perseverance before DSA started replying my mails. I didn't know his reason for that anyway. So then in 2008, he wrote me and said that he was coming to Nigeria, and we should meet. Gave me the address of the church where he was going to preach. That was around November 2008. That was the same period he went to Jos to preach at Winners Chapel. That message, the popular
Message,
Winners Chapel message that you are hearing about. He preached that message in Jos. Then after coming from Jos, he came to Abuja to preach. So we met. That photograph you are seeing, there's a photograph there of myself and him and there's some other people. We took that photograph after the meeting in Abuja. As you can see, in one of the photographs, DSA was addressing the press.
okay.
DSA was addressing the press. And let me say something about that. That DSA, in fact, if you come around DSA for the very first time, you will feel an atmosphere of love. DSA will not need to tell you, I love you, before the atmosphere of love around him speaks volumes. Because he has so much contacted God and converted the word to become flesh in him that when you come around him, you feel that atmosphere.
Wow.
He created that atmosphere around him. After DSA finished preaching inside the church, he came out to interact with ordinary people. You don't see that. You don't see that in the mainstream Pentecostal churches. That's not common. He came out to interact with the ordinary people. Meanwhile, the pressmen were outside waiting for him because it was a hot cake. They heard about him. They heard about the Nigerian pastor that God was using to do exploit in UK. So they was in Ukraine. They were already waiting for him while he was preaching inside the church. And he addressed the press. And he was talking about the nation, talking about the state of the nation, how goes the church, so goes the nation, and all that. Some of the things that DSA is talking about, we have been talking about them right back then. Yeah. He spoke and addressed the press. He answered their question, which is also not common these days. If you are a pressman and you walk to some churches and say you want to see the senior pastor, you want to talk to the senior pastor, well, the ones that will give you listening ears are probably the ones that maybe they are looking for popularity. They want their names to be mentioned, but the big guys there will not listen to the pressmen. They will not even want to grant them interview, unless if there is maybe an organized interview, a scripted one with what to say and what to ask and what not to ask. They could grant such interviews, but I tell you that DSA was available for the pressmen to interview him and also to interact with the ordinary people. No policeman is there to push you aside. No usher is there to say stop. He broke the protocols. He did it himself. He walked out and went out and stood in front of the church to interact with ordinary people. In one of the pictures where he was talking with the press, you see a young man, a young child there playing with something. I don't know if you can see that. That's actually Perez. That's Perez. Perez was maybe about 10 years then. That picture where he was talking to the press.
Yes, I can't see Perez there, but I'm really finding the story interesting, Pastor Edwin. And I will let you continue in a moment. Guys, you've been seeing me smiling. I'm just smiling about, I was just thinking about what Pastor Edwin is saying, that Pastor Sunday, or Dr. Sunday to you, when he came to Nigeria, that was over 11 years ago, or around 11 years ago. That's when they met for the first time, and mentioned some names of pastors also that were there where he met him. But the thing that is really making me smile is the European, and I'm looking at the screen again and seeing some European behind him. So the first thing is that the European was so grateful for the land of Nigeria, and they were kneeling and almost kissing the floor, the ground that Dr. Sunday of the country or the nation where Dr. Sunday was born. That's a sign of them showing appreciation. You know, that's part of DSA charity. Today we're doing DSA's charity, but that also shows that that's what Dr. Sunday have taught them, you know, to be charitable, to be grateful, to appreciate. And the people that came with him, they were appreciating Nigerians and they are appreciating the land. So, you know, in my heart, I was just feeling kind of like really warm, you know, just reflecting on those words that Pastor Edwin was just sharing about, you know, I've heard this before, but just reflecting on it is just giving me some joy. And I know if you are out there, you know, you can also be somebody that people would appreciate so much, that, you know, your country, Nigeria, or even wherever you came from, they would appreciate you and appreciate where you're coming from. That is a sign of love, is a sign of charity, is a sign of, you know, gratitude. So that's excellent. And then, Pastor Edwin, you shared so much that I really think that people should take some notes. I'm taking some notes, especially the part of, another part that I was really finding interesting of DSA addressing the media. You know, you know, DSA is a natural born at this, I think. But you know, even though I say he's naturally born, if you look at some of Dr. Sunday's teaching, when he talked about his life and how shy he was, how timid he was, to be a timid person that created himself, that developed himself, that worked on himself to the extent where he's so comfortable around the media, and looking at the contrast with pastors nowadays that, you know, you can't even go directly to talk to them. You know, you'd have all sorts of people that you have to go through in order to talk to them. But DSA is very comfortable around everybody. He, you know, there's no level or any class around him. All between us is just love and great energy. So it's brilliant. Thank you very much, Pastor Edwin. Please continue with your presentation.
Okay. So let me also talk about the way DSA received me in his hotel room. You know, Maya, what I'm saying is that I think a number of you who have who are in Kyiv, you confirm this, that maybe you've been hearing about him and you haven't met him for the first time. The day you meet Pastor Sunday, you will find it difficult to believe that this is Pastor Sunday. I mean, if you juxtapose him with the kind of aura you see around, you know, general overseers, senior pastors, the euphoria. You know, when I got to Pastor Sunday's hotel room, he stood up to entertain me. He brought drinks. I was speechless. I was just looking at him. Because first, in the typical Nigerian culture, is the lesser that should do what they call dobale or
prostrate on the floor.
Not to talk of a man of God of his caliber coming to offer me juice, offer me drinks, offer me snacks. I was speechless. I was speechless. Let me tell you, after I left the hotel room that day, my mindset began to change. He didn't say anything to me. He didn't talk to me about love, about how to treat people. My mindset changed on the way I relate with people. The way I look at other human beings. My mindset changed completely. In fact, I wrote him, I sent him a mail after he left. I said, without preaching, you have preached 1,000 sermons to me. Just by your life and what I saw around you. The way you receive me and the way you treat people. Let me also mention this. the way Pastor Sunday introduced his wife at the conference in 2006 also changed my mindset completely. I've never seen a man honor and dignify a woman in such a way. I've never seen it.
Tell us about it, Pastor
I've
Edwin.
never.
Tell us.
Yes. I've never seen a man honor a woman and dignify her in such a way in my life until that day. It was a shock to all the big guys were there. They were on the podium. They saw DSA introducing his princess, kneeling down. I said, wait a minute, what's happening?
Oh, he knelt down. He knelt down.
He knelt down.
He does that a lot. Wow, but for Nigerians in Nigeria.
No. You can't find that in Nigeria. They are probably they only do that the day they are going to propose to their wife to be. So just some of them will do that. You know, so it is important for me to talk about what happened, how I met him, and my observations, and how even without speaking, without saying anything, I mean, that was a whole sermon to me. That was a whole sermon, and let me tell you, I started treating people differently. I'm telling you, he didn't tell me, he didn't say anything, but I just observed him. I said, no, this is something. It was to me.
Yeah.
It impacted my life.
Yeah. DSA is infectious like that.
Infectious.
Yes.
It's infectious. So it's important that I mention that. Now, I want to talk about DSA's paradigm shift in ministry.
Okay. Slide. Once you want to tell us this, you can tell us a slide based on the title. Okay, we've got a title, and once you want us to show a video, tell us the title of the video that you want us to show.
Yes, you can go to slide 5 now.
Okay, thank you. And the title, DSA Paradigm Shift in Ministry.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're there now. Go ahead, Pastor Edwin.
Okay, so now you see, DSA talked about how God bust his theology about church. Before now, he had a mindset. And everything that DSA has done in Ukraine and some of the results that we have seen that the whole world is talking about today, I believe is as a result of what happened in this encounter that he had with the Lord to change his mindset. Typical mindset of any pastor, the average pastor, even across the world, is that when you are starting a church, use the tool of fasting, prayer, and miracle. Once you can do miracle and get the people to come, you will grow the church. That was what DSA had in mind, and that was what he planned to do. He fasted for 6 months. 6 months. Not every pastor fasts for 6 months before starting a church. That was an additional effort on his part, really, to be sure that he was not average in what he wanted to do. Praying for 6 hours every day. if you have attempted praying for 30 minutes at a point, I know you are laughing. If you have attempted 30 minutes to praying for 30 minutes at a point, you will know how difficult it is to even pray for 1 hour. But he prayed for 6 hours every day with fasting, not for 6 days, not for 6 weeks, not for 2 months, not for 3 months, but 6 months. 6 months. 6 months of praying and fasting and asking God for the manifestation of the miraculous, calling forth the people to come from different parts of the country to be part of the meeting. Only for 7 people to turn up. Only for 7 people to turn up. But then I want to say something about this exercise that Dr. Sunday did and the significance of it, because to me, the fasting and prayer was not in vain. The fasting and prayer was not in vain. The 6 months of praying and fasting actually brought him to a point where God could talk to him, where he could listen to God and hear God clearly and get a clear direction. And if you have been following DSA'S series, those who have been following the series, in the prayer series, he talked about prayer, how prayer is for us to be able to see what the Father is doing and then copy what he's doing to implement it here on earth. So that was the result that God used that prayer and fasting in the life of DSA to accomplish. It brought him to a point where he could hear God and know exactly what God wanted him to do, and know the strategy and the tool that God wanted him to use in starting the church. Why miracle? Miracles, healing, of course, could be part of it. But like Jesus said, I can of my own self do nothing except I see what the Father is doing. When DSA was able to see what God wanted him to do and understand the strategy that God wanted him to implement, that changed his mindset. That changed his way of thinking. Now let's go to the next slide now. That should be slide 6.
Okay. It says the reasons for the paradigm shift.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, you find out that when DSA wanted to start the ministry, he intended to go to the popular Bible school in US that is called Rhema Bible School, which was founded by the late Dr. Kenneth E. Hagin. And probably he wanted to maybe model the man or have him as a mentor or whatever. But then God spoke to him that he shouldn't go there. That he has different ways of raising his generals. Some he will send to a local church to be mentored by the local pastor and be brought up. Some he sends them to Bible schools and the some he raises them around great men of God. But that if he wants to do something that is different and unique, and that he does not want to be contaminated, he takes them to the wilderness. And God told him that Russia, the Iron Curtain was his Bible school, that he was going to train him there. He was going to give him what he needed to use for ministry, teach him what he was going to use. And that is important, because if DSA had gone to America or any other place, he would have come with the same mindset. He would have started the ministry with the same mindset. But because he had this different training, and God was talking to him that he should pay attention to the less privileged. When only 7 people turned up for the meeting, he invited and gave out the invitation of almost like maybe 5,000 invitations, and only 7 people turned up. And those 7 people were down and out. Those 7 people were people that were not even giving attention in the society. He went back to God and was crying and complaining and telling God, why did you send this kind of people here? Why didn't you bring the market women? Why didn't you bring normal people? It was intentional. God intentionally did it, because what God wanted to do with him was different from the conventional type of ministry, where you just get the crowd, just get the success, and just make the name. So God had to deal with that mindset. That's why he stopped him from going to that Rhema Bible School or the other Bible places he wanted to go, so that he will get his mind set and give him the right mindset. Because if he did not start the ministry there with that kind of mindset, it would have been difficult for him to break through with the Russians, with the kind of mindset they have, looking at every black man as a monkey.
Well, so anyway,
Yes.
I'm just thinking about something, right? When you were mentioning Dr. Sunday praying for 6 months, or fasting for 6 months, and praying for 6 hours, I was waiting for the third 6, and then people would say, "Oh, this is like the devil, 666, the sign of something." But anyway, don't let me derail you. I just want to say something about praying. Something was saying to me that people out there, and also you, this is a question from me, that do you think it is because Dr. Sunday prayed that he achieved this, he was able to achieve this, or it was something about Dr. Sunday's attitude, what he has built in himself? His character, his zeal to do what he's doing for God, his love for people, his love for God, or was it the prayer? I'm just interested because, there might be people out there thinking, I'll go and pray for 6 hours and, fast for 6 months. Because I know many people that fast and pray and they don't have the same success at all.
Yes.
So I just want to touch on that because it is about DSA's charity. And how do we demonstrate, how do you know charity? You know charity through actions of what happens, not, somebody praying or, not through the prayer. But just touch on that for me because I'm thinking out loud now.
Okay. Now, let me explain that it was not the prayer. Mm-hmm. It was not the prayer. Like I said, what the prayer did, because that prayer was not in vain though. what the prayer did was it brought him to a position where he was able to hear God, to get the mind of God. That's what the prayer and fasting accomplished. But DSA had been observing principles. The result that DSA got in Ukraine and in different parts of the world today are because of the principles. How much he has been able to work on himself and the principles he has put to work, and even the charity that we're talking about today, they are part of the principles.
Love.
Yes. They are part of the principles.
Right.
They are part of the principles that he observed. And you see, like a lot of people, like you said, some even can even pray for up to 1 year.
Yeah.
Fast
and fast.
Yes, they can fast and pray for 1 year, but that would not guarantee any result unless those principles are observed. And because you see, God wanted to give DSA the key, the right key for ministry. There's a reason for that. And the reason for that is, if you, there is a love chapter that is popularly referred to in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter.
Well, Nepa, is that Nepa?
Yes, is the gen. It probably is trying to go. Somebody will attend to it.
Okay.
So the love chapter in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, beginning from verse 1 to 3, he said, if I speak, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have no charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and I understand all mysteries and all knowledge, which is part of the revelation knowledge and whatever that he wanted to come and preach, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have no charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have no charity, it profited me nothing. So you see that, because this is God's perspective of ministry, that charity, love should be the basis. Love should be the motivation. And of course, after praying and fasting for 6 months, with wrong sincerity, you know, like he said, he had other things within, other motives
qualities,
within.
Other qualities, yeah.
Yes. So, by the time God began to talk to him, God made him to understand that this is the foundation of a true ministry. God didn't want him his ministry to be contaminated or adulterated. He wanted to give him a solid, pure foundation, ministry with a solid motive. Not ministry that is out there to collect from people. Not ministry that is out there and waiting for what the people can give. God had to settle that. And once he had that mindset, and that had been settled, that is one of the greatest principles of the kingdom of God. Love. This place I just read now, he said, if I speak in the tongues of men, when people stand and preach on the pulpit, what are they doing? They are prophesying. When people talk about faith and do miracles, what are they doing? They want to do work of ministry. But in God's perspective, if charity is not the motive, then it is nothing. So once that was settled, he had a clear direction to start the ministry. I want us to look at another slide here. That is 1 second. Okay.
The title. Just tell us the title. Or is it the next one?
Okay. 1 second. Yes. That is slide 9. Slide 8. Sorry. Slide 8.
What does it say? The title.
Slide 8. Slide 8. Slide 8.
Tell us the topic. Tell us the title. The principle behind DSA charity.
The principle behind DSA charity.
Okay. All right. Just tell us the headline of each slide. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, we've got it now.
Okay. So now, looking at that, with this, what he was exposed to as to what ministry is, one of the passage that was given to him was Matthew 25. I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was homeless, you took me in. I was in prison, you came to visit me. I was sick, you came to visit me. Those were the things that formed DSA's principles of making himself amiable and creating an atmosphere of love around him, such that even the common people, even the least people in the society will have access to him. That's how he, instead of waiting for these people to come meet him in the church, went out there to look for them, demonstrating practical love for them. You know, God is a spirit. You can't see God. At best, you can only imagine how God looks like. And even our imagination of God cannot be absolutely correct. We can only imagine as far as our mind can imagine. But the practical way to reveal God to people is through love. So the Stephania kitchen started, and hungry people, less privileged, hungry people in the street were invited to come and eat twice in a day for free, not paying a dime. For free. These are some of the things that made these people to begin to think, what is happening here? Because some of these people have nobody pays attention to them. Nobody looked after them. They were fed twice in a day, until the list grew up to 2,000 people that were eating from that kitchen twice in a day. Within the period of some years, the money that was being spent on that feeding increased to almost like $1 million. And I've heard DSA say this in one of the messages he preached in Nigeria. He has said that, look, that he was not going to build a church, raise a building, until the number of people in the society, the number of hungry people and drug addicts in the society are less. That even when the money is there to build the church, that is not his priority, that is not his his number one priority until the number of people who are hungry in the street are less. There is no better way to communicate God than this. There's no better way to preach God than this. That was why God told him to look for, remove his suit and drop his Bible and remove the tie and go out there. That's practical love. If he did not have this mindset, if he had been waiting for miracles, for the healing and whatever to bring the people, he would not have been able to. The people would not even have paid attention to him, because they had their own peculiar needs. They had needs that were peculiar to them. Let's look at this next slide. Okay, not video now. I was hungry and you gave me food. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. Let me share this. When I met with DSA in 2008, in Abuja, before then I was involved in, I've been involved in hospital ministry. And somehow I told him about it. So when we met in 2008, he asked me a question. Only that question he asked me, without saying anything further, I knew he passed a message. He asked me, he said, why is it that your outreach, you are very particular about one hospital? Because I did a magazine, and I sent I sent a copy of it to him. But then he asked me that, look, he discovered that from his some of the materials I sent to him that I pay attention to only one particular hospital, and nobody has ever brought that to my attention. Immediately, my eyes open. I said, oh, wait a minute, but that's true. Now, let me tell you this, Maiwa. In that particular hospital where I normally go to, is more or less what you call the hospital of the elites. That's the one that the elite is the top referral hospital in the nation, at the national hospital. So that question he asked me made me now to begin to pay attention to other hospitals in the suburb that where a lot of less privileged patients go to.
What was the question?
He asked me, he said, why do you only go to that one particular hospital? That was National Hospital. He didn't say anything beyond that. But immediately he said that, I knew he passed a message.
That's Dr. Sunday usual style. And you are very sharp as well. Very good.
Yes. I knew he passed a message. So next time I located the other hospitals in the suburb where the less privileged, where the less privileged patients are. And that's because of this principle of paying attention to the less privileged, going out there where they are, and communicating the message of love to them without even using the Bible. let's go to the next slide now. That's let me see. Okay, we have seen slide 8. Okay, now another principle is that the ministry is the ability to touch people with the love of God. The ministry is not preaching. The ministry is not teaching. The ministry is not doing miracles. But the ability to touch people with the love of God. Miracles, preaching, teaching, pulpit, they are just tools. And in today's church, these things I mentioned to you now have been elevated above every other thing. That particular principle is the reason why you see DSA paying a lot of attention to people, so much so that he can talk about your hairstyle, your clothes. You know, when you came up the first time, I told you something.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, because we're learning from DSA.
Yeah.
He pays attention to you, pays attention to your mood, pays attention to even what happens around you.
Yeah.
You see, because you need to be able to connect with people, and there's no better way. There's no way you can connect with people except through love. When you give them attention, and you know, every human being needs love because we are creatures of love. We're created by God, and God is love. There is a need to be loved in the heart of every human being, whether they are good or bad, whether they are terrorists, whether they are Christians, whether they are Muslims or whatever. There is need to be loved, and that's why for me, this is one of the qualities I've seen in the life of DSA, and that has actually touched and transformed my life so much. This principle of love, and loving not the lovable, but the unlovable. Those who don't deserve to be loved. Those who will not be able to pay you back. Those who will not be able to return your gesture. Let's go to the next slide now. The next slide should be a video. The title is no, there's no title here. Slide 9.
Okay.
Slide 9.
What does it say?
There's no title. There's no title here.
Okay. We'll move on to the next slide.
Move to the next slide. Slide 9.
Okay. So did you say video or did you mention video?
The video.
Okay. What's the title of the video?
DSA's ministry, DSA's charity to drug addicts and alcoholics.
Okay. Yes, we're going to put the video on now. Pastor Edwin, there's a windy kind of noise in the mic. What's causing that? It's been like that throughout.
Okay,
like,
windy?
Yes, like windy through the mic.
And that's my fan.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. So you do need it because it's hot. All right, no problem. Please, viewers and those who are listening through the earpiece, please accept our apology for that. I'm hearing it and I don't have an earpiece on, and I know that possibly it would be a little bit disturbing if you're listening to.
People can shift it a bit.
Yeah.
You can just
Yes, if you can do something about it, that would be great. While we're looking for the video, I'm just going to make some more announcements here. If you want to call in after this, you've been hearing what Pastor EDWIN AMIMI has been sharing with us about DSA'S charity. You know, a lot of the principles and capabilities of the Sundays were born, or, you know, they are derived from love. And it's really interesting to hear how we demonstrate the love, the attention to people, the attention to the needs of others. And I'm really, I'm hearing a lot. It's just hearing it from somebody else, it has a lot of depth. So I just want to show you today, or a few days ago, the Sunday launched a new book, and you can see it on your screen right now, Money Riches Wealth. Until you know the difference, you are not free. You know, chew on that for a little bit. I've been chewing on it for the past 3 days. Money riches wealth. Until you know the difference, you are not free. This book is now available for pre-order on Amazon, just for $3.99. So if you go on Amazon, wherever you are, Amazon.com, .co, wherever, it's $3.99. Of course, it would be in the currency of the country that you are in as well, but it would boil down to $3.99. I also want to show you a few books while we get the video ready. Here's one, How to Hear the Voice of God. You know, when I was asking earlier that, is it the 6 months of prayers, or 6 months of fasting, or 6 hours of praying? And Pastor Edwin was explaining to me, it's just to hear God, to understand God, and to see God's heart. That is what that is all about. But it was the action that was taken and the principles that actually helped the results as well. So here is a book that will help you with that, How to Hear the Voice of God. Small book. It won't take you much to read. All right. Here's another book right here, The Jesus You Never Knew. I love this book, The Jesus You Never Knew. You know, I always feel like I need to get to know Jesus a lot more. And a book that says The Jesus You Never Knew actually would be insight on getting to know him a little bit better. So here we are, The Jesus You Never Knew. Another one here. These are some of Dr. Sonya's very old books. Is it right to say old books or earlier books? Let me say earlier books. And then here's another one. Those Who Are Christ's. Those Who Are Christ. I like to think that I am Christ's. So this book here says Those Who Are Christ. If you're not sure if you're Christ, or even if you are sure like me, you can still get this book and have a read. Those Who Are Christ's. And then here we have another book right here. The Whole World Is Waiting for You. I love this book. You know, just the fact that it's telling me that the whole world is waiting for me. It makes me feel significant that I wasn't just born, you know, to just be a number. I was born for a purpose. And this book saying that the whole world is waiting for you. You who make mention of the Lord, do not keep silent. The whole world is waiting for you. Brilliant, brilliant work. Another one here. I think all of us need this. If you've been religious, or you've been following some religious practices over the last few years, I think we all need this. Don't touch me, I am hurting. Don't touch me, I am hurting. It seems like I'm smiling when I'm talking about hurt, but it's a serious matter. Don't touch me, I am hurting. For everybody. Everybody needs this book. And finally, I will show you this book I love, Life's Greatest Secret. Life's Greatest Secret. Honestly, life is not a mystery, okay? And the greatest secrets are here. You can find it here. Life's Greatest Secret. Beautiful, beautiful books. So that's the books that I want to show you for now. But don't forget, you can pre-order the latest one, Money Riches Wealth, Until you know the difference, you are not free. It's available on Amazon to pre-order for just $3.99. So I think the video is ready now, Pastor Edwin. So we're going to proceed. Okay.
It's not ministry by itself. Those things that I just mentioned are just tools, instruments by which people should experience the touch of God's love, God's love touch, God's touch of love. That is the means. So, but in this case, he told me, since you, the white people and the Europeans, they will not come and listen to you. You know, you are right when you say they have their prejudice. But if you don't blame them, don't condemn them, it's because of the way they were brought up and what the information they have been exposed to about Africa. They think African people need to be helped by them. That they need to help Africans and they need to pity Africans. Though they are pitying you and trying to help you, not knowing that you could have something to give to them. So don't condemn people. Don't love them. Go and do what I told you. Go and love people. Go and make them experience God's love. You don't need the Bible there. Just go and look for that woman, alcoholic woman. Go and tell her to tell you where all the alcoholic people are in the country. Go and in the city. Go and tell her to lead you to them where they are, where you can find more alcoholic, drug addicts, outcasts, and people like her, and marginal people, and go and just make them feel that touch of God's love. Just go and make them feel that touch of God's love. You don't need to preach to them. You don't need to, teach them, give revelation or do miracle. Just go and make them experience that love, that touch of God's love. If it is necessary, you will. If it is through the preaching that you know that they will feel and experience that love, then you preach. If it is through teaching that you know that that love will be communicated to them for them to feel it, then you will teach. If it is true miracle that is the best way and the best weapon to use to make them feel and experience that love, that God's love, so that they will feel it on themselves, then you do miracle. If it is that through feeding of the poor that you need to make them experience that love, you go and feed them. If it is through clothing that you to make them experience that love, you go and clothe them. Anything that you need to do to make them experience that love is what you must do. If maybe sometimes you only need to smile. Sometimes you only need to hug them. Sometimes you need to stand on your knees before them. Sometimes you need to, just humble yourself. Sometimes you need to cry. Sometimes you need to weep before them. Sometimes you need to just touch them. Anything that is needed to be done to make sure that they experience God's love. That is ministry.
Wow. Wow. That was a beautiful clip there. Anything that you need to do to ensure, to make sure that somebody experiences love of God, the love of God, that's what you need to do. Pastor Edwin, please go ahead.
Yeah, you see, Maiwa, why God had to bring DSA to that point and get that principle across to him was because without that, it would be difficult for him to be able to break through in Russia because of the mindset of the people. After all, you are a black man. You don't have anything to offer. I mean, you are just one of those apes that came down from the trees just a few years ago.
It's not even funny. It's not even funny, but I just don't know why I'm laughing. Go on, Pastor Edwin.
So, I mean, what do you have to offer? So, and that is the only thing that man cannot deny. People may reject love, but they can't deny it. Yes, they can't deny it. So once, and he was able to pay attention to one of those 7 alcoholics that came to the meeting. There were 7 people that turned up in the meeting he organized. One of them was that Pastor Natasha, who introduced herself as Pastor Natasha Alcoholic, the famous Pastor Natasha that we have all read about today.
Yes.
If God did not bring him to that point of getting that sense into him, he would have neglected her He would have closed his eyes to those ones and be looking for the people out there who will not be able to pay attention to him. Because these ones that came were first of all blinded by their own problem. They were not, they were colorblind, so to say. They were colorblind. They had their own problem, and he came to that level of relating with them and ministering to them and touching them with the love of God. And one of them, Pastor Natasha Akaholi, became the bridge to the world of the neglected. Can you imagine how many people we bypass today by neglecting one or two people? The people around us. Because every human being that you see today is a bridge to multitudes that you cannot see. That's why it's important to treat every person that you come across with love, to pay special attention to people. I once heard someone say some time ago, I think it was DSA who said it, that look, the distance between you and maybe the president of your country might just be 3 people. I mean, that's just it's a statement. But what that means is that human beings are important, people are important, relationships are important, value every human being. And God asked him to pay particular attention to that Natasha Akaholi, because with the mindset of the people there, for them to give you attention, you need to be able to do what they have not been able to do. You need to be able to produce results that they have not been able to produce there, because even the government could not solve the problem of alcoholism. The alcoholics, the drug addicts, they were a problem to the government there. They couldn't solve the problem. And so he stepped in there. He took up that challenge. Drug that was killing a lot of people were dying, a lot of criminal activity in the society. When the people began to see their loved ones and their relatives getting transformed and experiencing the love of God and being touched, of course, they began to ask. And that's the greatest miracle. It's not the opening of the blind eyes. In fact, I've seen people who got healed and later went back, the same sickness came back again. Yes. So miracle can never transform somebody's life. Even if the person is blind, or even if you raise the person from dead, there are people who have been raised from the dead, yet that did not transform their life. But love transforms. Love transforms. So now you see that Pastor Natasha became a bridge to the world of the neglected. In 1997, 1998, when the kitchens, the feeding started, a lot of people came, they were feeding, they were experiencing practical love. And then in 1997, the rehabilitation center started. And a number of them were coming because she knew them, she knew their contacts, she could reach out to them, she could get access to them easily. They started getting transformed. And that was the major breakthrough. For me, that was the major breakthrough for the people there to be able to even listen to him say, I know this black man, this man we are calling ape and monkey, he has something to offer. He has something to say. Even though, of course, there were miracles in the church, there were a lot of things happen, but the foundation of it all was love. So love became the motive, love became the driving force for the miracle in the society. Now, let me go to the next slide. The next slide is not a video, but is still the principle behind DSA's charity,
Okay.
provoking one another unto good works. Provoking one another unto good works. When these same values, these same principles that God taught DSA, he began to communicate it to those that God brought under his mentorship. He began to communicate it to his disciples, because it is the same, is in line with the ministerial principle that says, Paul told Timothy, he said, what you have heard from me, commit unto faithful men who are able to teach others also. So he passed these values to them. He taught them these principles, and they imbibed it. He challenged them to go and take responsibility for the problems in the society. And you see, this is very, very, very important to me, because any ministry that is not involved in resolving practical issues in the society, that ministry is not relevant. Any church that is not involved or engaged in resolving practical issues in the society, resolving real problems of real people, it is not relevant. Come to think of it, when Jesus started his ministry, in Luke chapter 4, verse 18, he announced, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, for he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. That's the problem, that's the need. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted. That's the need. To set at liberty them that are bruised. That's the need. These are issues. So ministry should focus on resolving practical needs, meeting real needs of real people. Not just talking about some abstract things. Okay, you are going to heaven. If somebody accepts Jesus Christ and dies and goes to heaven, what has he achieved? Yes, his soul is saved. That's good. That's important. But then, God created every human being to come and fulfill destiny here on earth.
Yeah.
God created every human being. If God wanted all of us, if God's goal was just to get to heaven, the day you give your life to Christ, angels will just sniff out your spirit from your body, and then you go to heaven, if that is the only goal. But there are issues that God actually sends people to come and resolve. So a lot of the DSA's disciples were inspired, were challenged. Some of them in the process of mentorship, they didn't find it easy at all. They went through the crucible. The HMT they used to have in those days. I've not attended it, but I got some of the videos. The HMT in 2009, the HMT in 2010. I got some of the materials. It was hotter than this. It's not like this one that is going on. Like Olia Blyth was saying yesterday that you know, they had a lot of inconvenience. They were pushed. They were pushed, and today they are happy for it.
Yeah.
Over 600 NGOs and charity organizations started as a result of the influence of his own, of DSA's own charity. What they received, what they benefited from, they went out there impacting others, giving it back to the society. Those who have been impacted and influenced by the life of DSA, by his charity. And I'm going to mention a few of them that have actually started their own organization. So maybe we can go to the next
next slide, please.
Yes, next slide video. Next slide video.
Is it okay? It's a video.
Yes.
Okay.
Olia Blyth.
Olia Blyth.
Okay, is it Blyth? Please pardon my pronunciation. Olia Blyth.
Yes.
Okay. Interestingly, I didn't know she was going to come up yesterday. She came. I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't know how the whole thing was arranged, but she came up yesterday.
Yes.
And
yes. So for those of you that are listening, if you watched yesterday, Pastor Edwin is going to show the video of Olia Blyth, who presented DSA as a pastor yesterday. She talked extensively about her life and how DSA as a pastor has impacted her and what she's been able to achieve in the last 10 years since joining Embassy of God's Church. And she shared so much with us yesterday. If you didn't see that video, please go back at the end of this one, of course, to watch that video. It's available on YouTube and it's also available here on available on Facebook. So go to Dr. Sunday Adelaja on any of those platforms and you should be able to see DSA, a pastor. That's the topic yesterday with Olia Blyth. So let's go.
Going to court to get a lawyer to stand for me and a lawyer to defend me, and I will still be paying the lawyers. Why don't I just go and study law myself? So I went to the law school. I started studying law so that I could defend myself against the banks and, you know, the people who are trying to get their money back from me.
Да, и было это настоящее чудо, потому что не имея еще образования юриста, я попала в юридическую компанию, я защищала несколько десятков людей, и после нашей работы по вопросам защиты потребителей банковских услуг, мы в результате попали вообще в топ парламент, в топ законодательной власти Украины по разработке законопроектов в качестве финансовой защиты потребителей. Поэтому не имея...
What happened was that, can you believe it? I went to study law. So while I was still in the law school, I had not finished my law degree. I was still in the second, third year. I applied to go and work with a law chamber. So I was taken into a chamber and I was working with advanced lawyers and experienced lawyers. And these lawyers now were teaching me and I was learning from them. And together with them, we started to come up with laws and make the government to take laws and enact laws and that will be in defense of people who lost their investments and people who couldn't pay back their loans to the bank because of the economic crisis. So, and I myself, still in the law school, was now defending other people who are victims of financial crisis. So that is how I began to take the kingdom of God to the area of finances, mortgage, loans, banks, and law.
И здесь следовал тот принцип, которым научил пастырь, что не ждать ни от кого помощи, не стоять, не плакать, не быть разочарованным. Нужно искать выход. Если передо мной стоит стена, я должна рыть землю, но пройти через эту стену. И в результате пастырь также сказал, что не нужно делать каких-то локальных действий, используйте какие-то инструменты в структурах власти, для того, чтобы действительно это имело огромное влияние на изменение в законе, на изменение сложившейся ситуации в стране. Поэтому мы в результате создали большую такую федерацию потребителей, в которую вошло несколько сотен общественных организаций. И это был создан такой большой общественный орган, который мог влиять на правительство, который мог создавать какое-то влияние и реально.
Pastor Edwin, I mean, this was only yesterday. I'm not even sure if Olia remembers this video that she did with Dr. Sunday a few years ago. I think it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. About 2 or 3, maximum 3 years ago.
2016.
2016.
2000. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so 3 years ago. And look at the changes even in Olia. And she narrated the same thing yesterday. So go and watch the video. This is why it's good to keep some of this, like have a video diary or record some of the things that are happening, because she explained exactly the same to us yesterday. Thank you, Pastor Edwin. Please go ahead and share your thoughts on this.
Yes, you can see this was a single mother who came to the church at the age of 32. She was broken, shattered, indebted, and jobless. But after joining DSA's mentorship, these values were communicated to them. These principles were communicated to them. That you need to live for a purpose. I mean, you know, the normal thing is that when you have a problem, you should focus on solving your problem. But, I mean, she decided to do the opposite because of what she had been taught. That you have been indebted to the bank and they want to take over your property or whatever. She decided to not to pay attention to her own problem, but to look at the other people out there who have similar challenge, and to take the bull by the horn. To say, okay, if I don't have the money to pay for a lawyer, let me go get the skill. Let me do what I can do. Instead of blaming somebody and blaming society and blaming whatever is not working, she took the step to do this, and not just that her problem was resolved, but she became a tool, an instrument in the hand of God to resolve the problem of people in the society. You see, when you give people the right gospel and they work with it, it brings the same result. The same result that this principle brought in the life of DSA also is the same result that is bringing in the life of his disciples. And that's why DSA, that's why he keeps challenging the Nigerian GOs and other pastors. And say, look, this gospel is not powerless. If you preach it the right way, the same result it will give you in Ukraine is the same it will give you in Nigeria. It's the same it will give you in US. It's the same it will give you anywhere if you apply the same principles. Olia Blyth gave herself to fight for the displaced people also in the society, apart from those that banks wanted to take their properties. There is another video also in that same slide. I would like that to be played.
Okay.
That same slide.
Okay, we will do that now.
Yes.
Как публичный деятель.
So what the point I'm trying to make is that I was in this pastor's mentorship team for 3 years. So what the point I'm trying to make is that I was in this pastor's mentorship team for 3 years. Can you imagine? In 3 years, I went from a lady who was a divorcee and with a small 2-year-old baby in my hand, who was a failure. I was in financial problem, crisis, lost all my money. You know, I went from there to become a lady that is now a renowned woman in a country that, you know, that is now, you know, enacting laws in the country, that is now the civil defender of other people. Just by learning some principles from this man. You know, Pastor took us by the hand, taught us some life principles. And no, you have to touch the. Okay. So Pastor taught us life principles, and those life principles, you know, took me in 3 years from nothing to become everything. And you know, you cannot believe it. It's totally unbelievable. So it's worth it to live for the kingdom of God. At first, when you are being told to live for not to live for yourself and to live for others. You'll be thinking, how do I have time? I don't have time.
It's making me think that Dr. Sunday, and also to audience and people out there, I don't know if you're feeling like I'm feeling, or, you know, thinking what I'm thinking, that Dr. Sunday's love and charity for people is not now. It's like, it's too deep. You know,
yes.
look at where, how, you know, look at the quality of that video then. You know, he just wants to come out to share the knowledge, the love, the information to people. Look at the condition, you know. I mean, this was only 3 years ago, but it looks like many years ago now that we've got all this technology. I mean, we had technology then, but even with nothing. So when Dr. Sunday, one of the videos that somebody showed yesterday, I think was Olia as well, that showed yesterday, was Dr. Sunday responding to somebody, to a letter that the pastor said he wants to start a ministry. He doesn't have land, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. But for those that are out there, this is part of Dr. Sunday's charity and love. I just thought I should just share it, okay? Look at the quality of that video that we just seen. Yet, there was a deep message that he wanted to share. The love, what you could do, something practical. He wasn't looking at, okay, it needs to be perfect, I need to have the right light, I need to have this, I need to have that. This is living by example. It's not just saying that you should go and do it. He himself is living that example. It's really amazing. You know what I mean? The charity and the love in his heart is just too much.
Yes.
Pastor Edwin, go ahead. Go ahead.
Olia Blyth was able to influence the government to enact laws in defense of the vulnerable in the society. You know, one of the ways you can fight for the right of some people is you use existing law.
Okay. Wow. Okay, I was wondering when this is going to happen with Nigeria. It's been great, though, and we will get Pastor Edwin back. So please stay tuned. We are still continuing with this. We have a few more videos to show you and some slides as well to go through. DSA's charity. That's what Pastor Edwin is presenting. On your screen, you can see a blue book there, Money, Riches, Wealth. And it says that until you know the difference, you are not free. I was really challenged by that statement, and I still am to some extent. This book is available for pre-order right now. You can go to Amazon and you'll be able to order it for just $3.99. Guys, let's continue.
So you see, the story of Olia Blyth is actually a good example of one who should have been a victim becoming a victor. One who should be pitied. Instead of sitting down, pitying herself, mourning over what has happened, she decided to face the problem headlong and help to liberate others. She helped to put pressure on the government to enact laws to defend these people. And you see, it takes love to do that. It takes love to do that. And this you see, these things are not taught in Nigeria. You can't find this in any pulpit. That look, you have problem, you don't pay attention to your own problem, but you want to resolve the problem of others.
Wow, that's a really good point. That's a really good point that you just made. I mean, it's not just Nigeria. It's not taught in most of these charismatic churches or shrines that your problem, you have that problem for a reason, and how can you use that problem to help other people or turn it around? It's not taught at all. I mean, we're just saying it like this, but as individual as well, your problem is like the center of the attention of your life, but it shouldn't be. You know, the story of Olia is go on, Pastor Edwin.
So you see, like DSA, he taught some time ago that, look, problems are shortcut to prominence.
There's a book as well.
Yes, problems are shortcut to prominence. This is a practical example. Listen, Mayowa, there's something I came to discover. One of the strategy of the devil is to get people entrapped in problems, and in such a way that they don't think about any other thing. They're not able to lift up their head and look at any other human being around them. They just focus on their own problem.
Yeah.
On just to resolve their own problem. And some people will do that for a lifetime.
Yeah, we even say that I've got my own problems. Why should I care? Look, I've got my... I mean, we all say it. I say it sometimes. It's like, it's a norm. That's what we do. You know?
Yes. Yes. So that is a strategy of the... But thank God for these principles that these people are taught. Her work was recognized by the wife of Joe Biden, the former vice president of America, and then the United Nations organizations, you know, and other international organizations came to recognize the work of somebody who should be maybe in our, let me say, if it is a typical Nigerian church here, going through 21 days of prayer and fasting, coming for deliverance. But she received love. She was taught principles, applied those principles, put them to work, and there you see the result. So let's go to the next slide now. The next slide is another story of a member of the God Embassy Church who was a pastor who actually has been mentored by Pastor Natasha Potopaeva. Did I pronounce the name correctly?
Correctly, yes.
Okay.
You did.
She was literally carried from the street to the church when she was 20. She was 23 and couldn't walk because of the impact of drug and alcohol. She started using the drugs from the age of 17 to 23 and was in a very bad condition. It was in that condition somebody told her about the church. How? What did the person tell her? That is the thing. You see, when you preach love with action, the message spreads faster than using microphone and speakers and printing posters and this thing to tell people who you are. Somebody told her, look, there is a church you can go to, and you will be transformed. So she was brought to the church. When she was introduced to the church, a member of the church called Lena was the one who took her, housed her. Meanwhile, she had her own problems. She wasn't having enough money to even take care of herself, not to talk of another person. This is, you see, I feel a bit emotional while talking about this, but this is the heart of the gospel. The Bible said there is no greater love than this, that a man should lay down his life for his friend. Laying down your life for your friend does not necessarily mean you have to go and literally die for the friend. If all you have to live on, you go out of your way to bring comfort to another person out of it, is part of laying down your life for a friend. That was what she did. And she came to the church, listened to the instructions, followed the procedure, and her life was transformed. Let's go to the next video now. We're going to see a story there. The next video is in slide 14. Lesia. Lesia is her name.
Yeah, we've got her. The story of Lesia. We've got it.
always had, and that vision is to serve God and bring the kingdom of God to my country. So I was delivered through the kingdom of God, and I must now take the kingdom of God to all the facets of this country. So let me tell you my vision for which I'm living for. This is the vision of my vision and the vision of our church, my local church. She has a church. She's a pastor of her own local. She's a senior pastor of a church, of one of the Embassy of God's churches. So this is our vision. Let me tell you the vision that we have for Ukraine. Еще раз повтори это видение.
Видение города Киева.
So in Ukraine we have like 25 states, and
открыть центры
в Киеве 10.
8 сейчас уже районов. В общем, в каждом районе города Киева церковь.
Okay, 10 regions in the capital. So you have 25 states in Ukraine, and in the city of Kiev where I am, we have 10 regions, yes.
В каждом районе и в стране
что там должно быть?
Должны быть центры реабилитации, которые разрастутся в церковь от без стен. У каждого должно быть в каждой области Украины. Сейчас у нас уже 6 освоено, у нас там представительство.
Okay. So my vision is this. I, as not the vision of the General Embassy of God, but this is just the vision, my personal vision, how I'm going to extend the kingdom of God and my local church. We have a church the vision of starting a church in every state of Ukraine and starting a rehabilitation center in every state of Ukraine. So we must have a church and a rehabilitation center. So 2 projects in every state, a church and a rehabilitation center. And then we must also have in the city of Kyiv, where we are right now, we have 10 regions. So we must have also a church and a rehabilitation center in every region of the city of Kyiv. Yes.
Это однозначно
Сейчас вы уже имеете сколько?
Уже у нас больше 10 центров реабилитации, 12 домов, которые...
So right now we already have covered 10 of those regions, so of those states, 10 rehabilitation centers, 10 churches, and in 6 regions of states of Ukraine.
И что очень важно отметить, в любой критичной ситуации в стране, они на самообеспечении. Такой центр стоит содержать в год около 180 тысяч гривен. Они сами себя содержат и продолжают работу. Это наша собственность. Мы выкупаем дома. 12 уже домов.
12, okay. So can you imagine? We need to spend 180,000 to just sustain one rehabilitation center, and right now we have 12 of them in those 12 in 6 states of Ukraine, and one of them to sustain is 180,000, and the church is not helping. We have built a system that we are using in the Embassy of God, that every one of these centers sustain themselves. So everyone in a year of this rehabilitation center will raise 180,000 to sustain themselves and heal people and cure people free of charge. That's what we're doing, and we have 12 of those.
Последнее наше достижение – это двухэтажный дом около 100 километров от Киева, потрясающий по своему качеству для мамочек с детьми, для нарко-алкозависимых мам с детками. Мы открыли такой центр, и они сейчас уже там начали свою работу.
We just started a new program right now. Apart from having rehabilitation centers for drug addicts and alcoholics, now we have another center which is for moms, outcast mothers that are pregnant, young mothers that are pregnant, or single moms. So these are women that are pregnant, and we don't want them to do abortion, so we help them. And so we built two stories building. We just bought 2 stories building for these ladies, and these ladies now could come and stay in this 2 stories building, and with their pregnancies and their children. And also we have such a house for single mothers that are on drugs or using alcoholism, so much that we could.
Yes, Pastor Eden.
So you can see that
okay.
you can see that the testimony of Lesia, she came from a very suspicious background with, drug addicts, not trusting themselves, anything could happen. They don't trust themselves, but that love that was shown to her was irresistible. She couldn't resist it. That was what attracted her, and she submitted herself to be trained, to be tutored, to be mentored, to go through the mentorship process, discipleship process, and all that. She from her testimony, she said she was very rebellious. She wasn't listening to people. She wasn't taking instructions. But that love that was shown to her by Lena, a member of the church. And then she also mentioned that DSA also paid attention to her when she came to the church. Can you imagine, in that kind of crowd, thousands of people, he was able to notice her. And she became also a major influence. She has been touched by love, touched by DSA's charity, and she began to apply the same principle in going out there to resolve the problems of people. She received unconditional love, and she has gone out to do exactly that, to give out life to people as she was taught. And for me, this is another case of another story of the Good Samaritan, who was found half dead and neglected by religion and the religious. But love brought her, love revived her, love gave her hope. I want us to go to the next, in the same slide, there's another video clip there. Let's watch that, please, quickly.
Okay. Okay, guys, if you're watching, please share this, share, so that more people can join us and just learn from this DSA's charity or DSA's life and his charitable work, or how he encourage or influence people to be charitable. Whichever way you want to look at it, you will benefit. Please share. Thank you. We've got the video.
Сколько, 20 лет назад, больше 20 лет назад я вас встретила, в 90-х годах, вот в холодном этом кинотеатре «Ленинград» в Киеве. Вы настолько были приветливы, у вас настолько вот эта атмосфера принятия, вот каким вы были тогда, таким вы остаетесь. Это один из ваших секретов, то, что меня до сих пор потрясает и пленяет вас.
You know, Pastor, I want to tell you something in you. One of the things that I noticed in you personally, when I came to the church, eventually she brought me to the church. When she brought me to the church, I mean, there were thousands of people there, and Pastor Sunday had time for me. Pastor Sunday walked through to me and that lady, and the acceptance that I saw in Pastor Sunday, that was 20 years ago, 20-something years ago, and the way Pastor Sunday was so open-hearted, when in 20 years back, I tell you what, Pastor, I can't believe it. You have not changed. You are still the same person. You know, till today. You still accept people like that. You still receive people the same way. You have not changed. You are the same person. That unconditional acceptance, that unconditional love, the way you overwhelm people with your well acceptance and love, I'm just, Pastor Sunday, I think this is one of your secrets, really. I think this is a major power that you have, to love people unconditionally and accept them so much that they will feel that touch of God's love.
И вот насколько я была максимально недоверчивым человеком из-за наркотиков, из-за преступного образа жизни, настолько ваше принятие, настолько Ленин уход, настолько она ухаживала за мной, настолько вот вся эта атмосфера Божьей любви, она меня просто пленила. Я влюбилась в церковь, влюбилась в этих людей, влюбилась в Бога, влюбилась в вас. И вот до сих пор обожаю все, что связано с Иисусом.
Because I was a drug addict. In the world of drugs and narcotics and drug addiction, you don't trust anybody. People betray each other every day. People can kill, people can kill each other. People just for a drug. And so I was trained not to trust anybody. But because of the overwhelmingness of that love and that acceptance, you know, it shattered my theology, my philosophy of not to believe people or not to trust anybody. I was always thinking everybody has an agenda. But when I saw that kind of love, unconditional, so overwhelming that I couldn't even think of an agenda that people were having that time, I was so won, to the Lord. And so much that, you know, that love and that acceptance is one thing that, you know, I've come to fall in love with in this church. And I don't want to lose it for anything.
И так как я была также максимально непослушным человеком в жизни, с Богом я стала какой-то максимально послушной. Что-то начало со мной происходить, и я слушала все, что говорил мой лидер и наставник. Она меня привела в библейский институт. Иисус Навин. 6 дней я была как спасенным человеком, покаялась, и она меня привела уже в теологический институт, в центр реабилитации, там, где я увидела пастора Наталью Потопаеву. Меня вообще именно, я была в шоке от этой личности сразу. Я влюбилась в нее тоже с первого взгляда. И вот центр реабилитации амбулаторный, который был при церкви, теологический институт, служение, то есть максимально меня внедрило во все виды служений, которые, ну, возможно только было меня поместить. И началось мое развитие.
Despite the fact that as a person, as a drug addict, you know, you don't become a drug addict out of good life. I became a drug addict because I was a stubborn person. I was a rebel. I was somebody that would always do the opposite of what the old world would say. I was somebody who never obeyed any instruction, who never listened to anybody. And that's why I became who I became. Despite the fact that I was such a rebellious individual, but when I got into that atmosphere of love that I'm talking about, you know what? I couldn't become rebellious anymore. I couldn't just resist their love. I couldn't just resist even their instruction. So they told me to go to a rehabilitation center. I went right there, just like very obedient.
Pastor Edwin, go ahead.
So you can see this is somebody who was brought and couldn't walk, but experienced practical love and has been transformed and went through the system. You see, and this is another interesting thing is that it's not just, they are not just being shown love and say, okay, now we have shown you love, just go and live your life. A system was put in place to make sure that they themselves become relevant to the society. They are able to give back to the society. That's why I don't have any doubt about DSA coming to change this country. I don't have doubt. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it any longer. This lady, Lesia, was able to rehabilitate over about 10,000 people were rehabilitated under her influence. She became a pastor, and under her influence, 10,000 people, 10,000 drug addicts have been rehabilitated through her. She bought apartments for homeless single mothers, single women, so that they could give birth to children and not abort those babies, terminate their destinies prematurely. She raised 10 pastors under her. And another very interesting thing for me about the story of Lesia is that even though she's a pastor, she did not just plant church and get like maybe what they will call branches here, but she made sure that side by side there are civil society organizations that are set up to resolve practical problems in the society, to resolve issues in the society.
Wow.
Thanks to the principle that they have learned from a DSA. Let's quickly go to the next slide now. Next slide is next video. that is DSA'S charity to senior citizens. Let me just get done with the slide so that maybe other people can contribute.
Yes.
So slide 16.
DSA charity to the old and senior citizen. We've got it on now. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you want to contribute to Pastor EDWIN AMIMI's presentation today, you're free to do so by registering your interest. Go to Move Agents Facebook Messenger. So just let us know that you want to call in or you want us to call you back so that you can share your thoughts, your opinion on today's presentation. We're going to open the lines very soon and start calling people back. So please register your interest. Thank you. So let's go with the slide. The slide is on the screen now. Go ahead, Pastor EDWIN.
Okay. All right. Is it a video?
No, it's DSA charity to the old and senior citizen. It's just a screen. It's just a picture image.
All right. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe the next slide will be the video. So you can see that you see I don't know what happens in that society. In this society, like in the Nigerian society here, when people reach the age of maybe 60, 70, 80, there's no any government provision for them here. Yes, there's no provision for, so there's nothing like old people's home. I've not heard of it. If you find it anywhere in Nigeria, it might just be a private effort. I came across one owned by the Catholics some two years ago. But these are people, some of whom have served the country. They served their fatherland, and because they will not be able to come to the church. Of course, many of them and most of them will not. Love reach out to them where they are. You know what the popular thing is that you give a tract to people, get the people to the church. Every effort, whether in crusade evangelism or whatever, must end up in bringing the person to the church. But this is an initiative. Which church wants to invest in this kind of a thing? Going to reach out to somebody who will not come to church, who will not come and share testimony on the altar of maybe what is happening, who will not come and pay tithe in the church? Who wants to invest in that? Who wants to do that kind of a thing? No. But because of what these people have been taught, because of this principle of charity, love for God and for your neighbor as yourself, they took the challenge to go out there to minister to these old people, the senior citizens. Some of them are just waiting for death. Some of them have been abandoned and neglected by even their own children. Some of them have been abandoned by the government they served. And someone came to show them love, to demonstrate that practical love. You see, now I understand. It was when I started listening to DSA on Facebook that I got to know, I understood. Nobody told me. I understood why President Putin of Russia declared him persona non grata. Because if this kind of a thing spreads in Russia, you can be sure that the stronghold is going to come down. This is what is called revolutionary Christianity. Revolutionary Christianity. I want us to go to the video now on the next slide, which is slide 16.
Okay, the next slide, please.
Yes. Is that a video? Video, it's a video.
Okay, it's a video. What's the title of the video?
It's DSA'S charity to senior citizens.
Okay.
DSA'S charity to senior.
The people holding some signs, those are signs representing the cities they come from. So this organization that was started by one person is spread to 40 states, 40 cities in the country, and those are representatives now of the cities where they are coming from. So it's become a national movement. Anything you do must be national. This is how to save a nation. And that's why you could reach up to 350,000 such people, because you are all over the place, starting with just a mission of love. Okay?
Come to the club and they see that there is real care, real love. They stay there and they stay faithful forever. Pastor, I would like to tell you that you are loved not only by us, by ministers, by the members of the church, but also members of our young guard love you as well. And the proof for this, I would like to give you the document of one of our veterans. He asked to give this medal for you. He said that this document and this medal is better for you than for him, the medal of the veteran. So I give this for you. And the medal was for this. Last year, our country celebrated the 65th anniversary from the Victory Day in our country, and every veteran got this medal. But of course it was a great war, and it was really difficult. But nowadays there are also great people who take responsibilities for those people who fought during the war, and now government doesn't remember those people, but there are ministers who remember and care about these people, who took responsibility. And this is for you, from our grandmothers who come to Young Guard, who come to our clubs. This is for you, these small buns, they're for you, we give this for you. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you. I will speak in English.
I'm going to be speaking in English. What is happening here is
on YouTube so that you can watch it yourself. It's available on YouTube, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Go ahead, Pastor Edwin.
Yes. So you can see that this man, the person one of the senior citizen who has been impacted through the ministry of these God Embassy members, who probably has never even seen Pastor Sunday, but he heard about it. He didn't want to know what color the pastor is. At this point, they were not interested in the color of his skin. They experienced love.
Yeah.
You know that one of the problems they face at this stage of their life is loneliness. Many of them die of even loneliness than whatever sickness or disease they have. It's just loneliness and depression. But people came to them, ministered to them, showed them love, and out of gratitude, one of them sent a medal. You know that medal. You know, in some of the American forces, there are very few people that actually get this medal of service, this military medal. There are very few people that get it. It's a lifetime award. It's given once in a lifetime, and it's given by the president. He brought his own medal and sent it to Pastor Sunday.
Yeah, he gave it to Pastor Edwin. I think, there was a part where Dr. Sunday wanted to explain what was going on. Maybe we will watch that part so that we would hear it as well. What is going on? What Pastor Sunday wants to explain.
He was explaining to them. Hello?
Yes, we're listening. Go on.
He was explaining to them the reason why the man gave the medal.
Wow.
Why the man gave the medal was because, in his own opinion, because he didn't even want to collect the medal in the first place. But in his own opinion, he said, look, the government is persecuting these people. The government is persecuting this church. The government is fighting this church. You are fighting this black man. So as a statement, he said, this highest honor you have given to me for service to my nation, I don't think I'm the one that deserves it. It is this pastor that you are fighting. It is this church that you are persecuting that deserves to have a statement.
Wow. Beautiful.
That's the statement. And this is the height of gratitude, because for some of them, they will keep these things for their children and grandchildren to come and see as, oh, this is what they gave to your father. But he took his and gave it to Pastor Sunday. Pastor Sunday almost didn't want to collect it, but because it will look like a slap on his face if Pastor Sunday rejects it, so he collected the medal.
Beautiful.
This is the impact of love. So can we go to the next slide now?
Okay.
Now this is talking about the success factory phenomenon. Because of what was happening in the God Embassy Church, a system where everybody who comes experiences love, is touched by love, and then is also taught to go out there and give out and show this love to other people. The people who experience this love, who go through the system, rose from ordinary citizens to becoming agents of transformation. They became agents of change in the society. And at some point, they began to refer to the God Embassy Church and Pastor Sunday as a success factory. And that can only happen because he gave himself to practice this love virtue. By the way, let me explain this, Mayowa, and to our viewers, that, DSA did not just stumble into these virtues. He worked on himself. As a matter of fact, DSA had spent several months reading that love chapter that I read initially, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, meditating on it to build this virtue in himself, to cultivate this, to convert the word into flesh in himself. And once he's been able to do that, he kept passing it to the team, and the team are passing it to their team, and the system goes on. So that's how God Embassy was referred to as a success factory. Now I'm going to go to the next slide. This slide should be maybe third to the last now. DSA's charity and influence on the social media.
Okay.
Yes. So the first is the amount of information that he has given out there, he has put in the public domain. When I first got in contact with Pastor Sunday, I didn't get to know some of those principles and some of those truths that he gave out on YouTube. I didn't know those ones, even though by reading his books and listening to some of his materials, I've heard him mention and talk about some of them. But I think there is no any other person that I know in this world today, preacher, maybe dead or alive, that has put so much information out there in the public, free for people to have access to. It takes love to do that. Let me tell you what is happening. What happens here in Nigeria is that when some of the fathers, some of the things they know and the principles they know that they are applying and is working for them, they don't put everything out there for everybody. There are a few people in their cycle who are loyal to them and who pay some homage. Yeah, so they get those are the ones that have access to those things. Those are the ones that have access to those information. Those are the ones they share some of those things with. But DSA has been able to put this out there for everybody. In fact, is there in such a volume that people even find it difficult to exhaust it, and some even abuse it. Some abuse it. Then, when DSA started talking on Facebook, especially, he gave people platform. He started the Kingdom Fruit, and that Kingdom Fruit was not just for Ukrainian God Embassy members, but he started inviting Nigerians who have been challenged by his message, who have heard his message, who started doing something. So a lot of people came on the platform. Yeah. And I remember Dr. Shegun Fatima was one of those that came on the platform and shared his story and how he's been blessed by DSA's message. Today, Shegun Fatima has a registered organization called Boaz Foundation. And Boaz Foundation has impacted in the lives of people, even those that I know in Nigeria today. I know people that have recommended, to Boaz Foundation who have been helped. This is another influence of DSA also. And there are other organizations too. There are others that I don't even know, even outside this country. And myself in particular, myself, over, let me say, close to 30 widows. Close to 30 widows. I'm on the next slide now. Okay. Yes, DSA's charity and how it influenced my life.
Yes, yes.
One of his principles is that a leader is a ladder. There's a teaching there on YouTube.
Yeah.
A leader there's a series on that. He provided his shoulder and gave his platform to people to come to assess him and to do whatever God leads them to do. I have been blessed, and as a result of that, close to 30 widows. I'm just being economical with the figures. Close to 30 widows have been impacted and empowered through what I'm doing here.
Well done.
Yes, through what I'm doing here. Excuse me. And in fact, we have reached out to close to 2,000 students. In our school outreach program. Today we just We just finished an outreach today, and one of the videos I even showed there was the life story of DSA, where he was talking about life is predictable, and more people are being influenced. This one I'm talking about those ones that have been influenced in our outreach, not to talk of those who come to sit, and I use some of those materials that I've been able to have access to disciple them and mentor them. And they have testimonies of their own lives being changed and transformed. Some of them, let me be specific. Some of those widows that come to the meetings we organize, some of them come broken. They come with bitterness. They come with unforgiveness, hatred against their children, against their in-laws, because of how they've been treated. But after some time, they are relieved. They are free. Their burden is off. They live with smile on their faces. I don't know if the video I sent was able, they were able to download it. I sent a video for this particular slide.
Yes, we have one. I also want to mention something that based on the charity and the content on social media. It's not just social media, as you know, also the mentorship program. It's like somebody giving you a free education, free pass or free scholarship. That's the right word. Free scholarship to educate yourself, to discipline yourself, to go through structure of education. And it's brilliant. If you haven't joined the mentorship program, please do so. It takes a lot, for Dr. Sunday to and the team to put this together, and there's so much benefit in the mentorship program. So go ahead, mentorship at godembassy.org, mentorship at godembassy.org, and I'm sure you can also go through sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship, sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. Go ahead, please, Pastor Edwin. The video is coming on now.
Okay. To the schools, through the support of some of our partners, we've been able to offset school fees.
Go. 1 second. The video. Do you want to speak what the video is playing?
Yes, no problem.
No, we can't do that. So we will play the video and then you talk, yeah? Okay. Go ahead, Pastor Edwin.
Okay, so apart from just reaching out to the schools and teaching them principles, some of those principles are principles that I've learned from DSA. We take them out there. We teach them these principles. Because for me, if these students can get these principles and apply those principles in their life within the next 5-10 years, there is hope for them in the future. There is hope that they will become better citizens and make the society better tomorrow. Then, aside from that, we have some partners who have actually been supporting us financially to offset the school fees of some of the students. there are some of the students who find it difficult, whose parents are not able to afford to pay for their school fees. We pay those school fees. Between last year and this year alone, I think we have done close to 20. Close to 20 students. We've paid their fee, and some of them have been able to get back to school, who otherwise would not have been able to do that. So these are some of the things that I have been influenced by DSA's own charity to do.
Go ahead, Pastor Edmund.
I can't see the video.
We've just played the video, so you're talking now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now I'm on the last slide now.
Okay.
Last slide.
Last slide, please.
My question is that it is possible to preach the gospel without the Bible. That's why God told him that, look, drop your Bible, drop your revelation, remove your suit, remove your tie, go out of the pulpit and show love. Give them love. Let them experience my love to you. It was John Wesley who said, was it John Wesley who said that preach the gospel by all means, if necessary, use words. That means you can preach the gospel without words. When the Bible was not even written and compiled, what were the early disciples using to preach the gospel? So I've established through the life of DSA, through his charity, that you can preach the gospel even without using the Bible. Two, that pulpit is not ministry and ministry is not pulpit. I have seen this in my life, Mayowa. I've told you I've been involved in hospital ministry.
Yes.
You know what I discovered? There were people who ordinarily would not have come to listen to me if I were to be preaching on the pulpit, either because of denominational barrier or for some other reasons. They will not come. But I have been able to influence them. From the least to the top. Different classes of people in the society, of different religion. In fact, one of them became an ambassador, a Nigerian ambassador to the Russian Federation. There are quite a number of them like that. So ministry is not pulpit, pulpit is not ministry. Where a problem exists, there is a ministry. Then the third one is that love can be packaged in a system and offered as a product.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. Yes. Love can be packaged in a system, put it in a system and offered to the society as a product. This is what I've seen from my research in the life of DSA and the lives of these ones that he has mentored. Everything behind what they are doing is love. It's not a profit-making venture. Yes. He's giving back to the society. When he was teaching about system building, he talked about how some of these drug addicts who are brought into the rehabilitation centers are given skills, they are taught to work, and they make money, and part of the money is saved for them. So that by the time they are leaving the rehabilitation center, they have something to start life. Who has done this kind of a thing? And some human beings are saying that we are worshiping somebody by talking about it. You don't want us to talk about it. So what do we talk about? I don't know what else to talk about. I've not seen. If I've seen something better to talk about, maybe I could talk about it. I don't know what else to talk about.
Well done, Pastor Edwin. Wow.
Yes.
Tell them, Pastor Edwin.
Yes, if I've seen something better, I could talk about it. But I've not seen it. This is how Jesus looks like to me. This is more Christ-like. This is how Jesus looks to me. So I join everyone on DSA's family, and I join the rest of the world, and I call on the world to join me to celebrate the life of DSA at 52. Yep. DSA is a blessing. I keep celebrating him, and I keep appreciating him. I thank God for the day I met him. I have no regret meeting DSA.
Yeah. Good job.
I would rather celebrate impact in the lives of men than to celebrate building malls that will collapse with time.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree with that. Yeah. That's
I would rather celebrate principles and truth that will change and transform the society, that has changed and transformed the lives of people from in fact, taking more people out of hell. Taking more people out of hell than to talk about just religion. I mean, everybody can do religion. There are many religions out there. This is something to talk about. And because people are ignorant, people don't understand. Even the Bible says that let us provoke one another unto good works. How do you challenge people to wake up if you don't talk about things like this? How do you challenge people to wake up? This is not about DSA. It's about what he lived for. It's about the principles he lived for, he lived by. It's about the impact that God has used him to make. Why was he invited to the United Nations? Why was he invited to the American Senate? What made them to look out for him? Because he produced results that were not common. He produced results that were not just based on some local principle, just local beliefs that only work within a particular geographical location that you can't take to the next country. It won't work. That is what we are celebrating, and that is what we are talking about. I am proud to talk about this.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Well done, Pastor Edwin. Good job. Excellent, Pastor Edwin. Thank you very much. Well done. DSA's charity that was presented by Pastor Edwin Amimi. He's on Facebook, so you can also check him out as well, and all his charity work. So, if you want to call in, guys, do we have any callers? Okay, we have a caller. Right. Before the caller is connected, let's just look on our screen right now. There's a book out there that is just being released by Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And the topic is, or should I say, excuse me, the title of the book is Money, Riches, Wealth. Money, Riches, Wealth. That's the big title. Don't stop there. It says, until you know the difference, you are not free. Deep thoughts there. It's available on Amazon to pre-order for just $3.99. That's Money, Riches, Wealth. There's so much in this book. I can't wait to dig into it and to get the understanding of money, riches, and wealth, so that I can be totally free, completely free. Thank you very much, everyone. Please share this video and invite more people. We've got, this is today 24. We've got 3 more days of programs until the 27th, and then the 28th is Dr. Sunday's actual birth date. So he will be 52 on the 28th of May. I'm so calm. I can't stay calm, but I'm so calm. It's Dr. Sunday's birthday. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hello, caller.
Hey, good afternoon, Myra. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Who's calling?
This is Charles from Canada.
Hello, Charles. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Good, good.
I want to thank Pastor Edwin for a good job he has done today, presenting. No one started, and he told us about his experience. That is something that really struck me.
Yeah.
The same man, 10, 11 years ago, simplicity. Still the same, simplicity. The message he was preaching 10, 12, 15 years ago is still the message he's preaching today. If you find fault in those messages, you have a problem. And anyone that finds fault in those messages has a big, big problem, and they need to go and remove the speck in their own eyes before they are beginning to see the log on the side of DSA.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know they've been, the new rave now is worshiping. DSA, thank you. Let God defend himself. It is only Allah that needs people to go and defend him, to be fighting jihad. Our God is able to defend himself. Leave him with us. Leave him with DSA. We celebrate him. We celebrate his life, that is keep giving life to other people. And we are proud of the man called DSA. If you have a problem, and if it is your problem, don't bring your problem to us. Go and deal with your problem. Our problem right now is we want to live a life that could multiply it to other people.
Yes.
That is why we are doing this program. And that is what we are trying to do. When Pastor Derek came, he said something about DSA, the way he honors his wife. Pastor Edwin said it today. I did a test and told my wife that, oh, you know I prioritize you as number one. He said, no, you don't.
Whoa.
I said, really? He said, you actually make me feel like number two.
Whoa.
To other people. I said, whoa, really? I said, don't worry. You are going to find a brand new husband. I'm going to fix myself.
Excellent.
And that is from this program.
Good job.
If Pastor Derek does not say that, how would I know? If Pastor Edwin didn't say that DSA knelt down in front of the GOs in Nigeria for his wife, how would I know? I haven't met him personally, but I need the testimony of other people. What do Jesus even ask disciples? What the men say that I have.
Yes.
So it is good for us to hear from people what other people say about DSA. Those that have met him, not the people watching from afar like me and they are still blind. So we celebrate DSA and we are going to keep celebrating him. If you have a problem, turn off your Facebook. If you have a problem, don't tune into YouTube. You have a problem, go up transformer. That's what they say in Nigeria. Go and hug transformer. And that's my contribution for today.
Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you. I'm petty like that, guys. I laugh when it comes to things like this. I just laugh. Pastor Edwin, did you hear that?
I didn't hear that, Mario.
Oh no, that was Charles from Canada, and he was just he was talking about the beginning of the program, how interesting and profound it was for him to hear you give your testimony about how you met, the first time you met Dr. Sunday 11 years ago, the things that he did, that was really interesting for him to hear it from you, somebody that has met him. And then he went on to say that when Pastor Derek came on, Pastor Derek talked about how Dr. Sunday honors or prioritize Pastor Bosse, and you also came on and said the same thing and said he knelt down for Pastor Bosse in Nigeria. So he said he asked his wife, and his wife said, actually, he told his wife that I prioritize you, and his wife said, actually, you don't, you know. And then he said to his wife that from now on you're going to see a new husband. And the point here is that he's learning from this program from now, you know, over the last few days, well, over the last 20-something days that we've started this program, and is loving the testimonies from other people, is learning, and all the people that said they shouldn't celebrate Dr. Sunday, or that they're worshiping Dr. Sunday, that they haven't even met Dr. Sunday, and they're saying all these things, they should go and hug Transformer.
I'm electrocuted.
I love it. Okay, that was brilliant. I think you can watch this again, Pastor Edwin. You know, I think that was the gist of it. Yes. I wonder if we have any more callers. Okay, I don't think we have any more callers. Oh, we have one more. Okay, good. More callers. You're free to call us and share your thoughts and your opinions on today's program, DSA's Charity, which was presented by Pastor Edwin Amimi. While we're waiting for the caller, you can see right there, there's a book, Money, Riches and Wealth. That's Dr. Sunday's latest book, and it's available for pre-order. Go to Amazon and you'll be able to order it for just $3.99. It's available for you. Okay, we can't get through to the caller, so if we don't get any caller while Pastor Edwin, you can just share your final words with us.
So my final words is that, you see, while people are looking for God, God is invisible. God lives in people. God lives in his God. You can discover God even from nature. You can discover God from truth. You can discover God from principles. You can discover God from the life of people. For me, I have read the Bible and I've used the Bible to preach. For me, I have seen the life of DSA and what he lived for and the principles he lives by as truths. And his life has communicated love to me even without him talking. I heard him. I've listened to his message, but coming in contact with him, I don't know if that is the story of other people when they first met DSA. But I just told you my own story, what happened 13 years ago. And I still have not forgotten. So those who hate DSA, they are permitted, they have the permission either to love him or to hate him. But you cannot ignore the principles he lived by. You don't ignore the truth. If you want to hate DSA, you are permitted to hate him. But know that for hatred, there is a repercussion. If you hate another human being, you don't have the nature of God in you. Hellfire is waiting for you. All those who hate others, I'm saying this on a serious note. If you hate any human being on earth, you are a candidate of hell. He that hated his brother abideth in death. That is the scripture. So if you don't like him, maybe I should use the word, if you don't like him, look at the principles. Don't ignore those principles. Don't ignore those principles. Because what we have seen and what we have heard and what have been communicated to us, even from nature, is going to be a basis for judgment. So I want to thank everyone that has taken time to follow this broadcast today, and to say on a final note that DSA is a human being. He has continued to say that he's a human being. He has given us the opportunity to see. I mean, today the video I was showing in the school today, he became so emotional. He started weeping. As he was talking, he was weeping. And the students, some of them, they were saying, they were just wondering, oh, look at this man, but the story ended in such a positive way that they had a lot to learn from it, including their teachers. Thank you, Mayowa, and thank you, DSA team, for taking time to walk through our presentation, for all the work, Dr. Anu, and all the other team members that we are not seeing, Galina and all the rest of them, Katrina and other members of this team. I want to express my gratitude to all of you. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to also chip in and give our own view and share our testimony, how we have been blessed and how we have been touched by the life of DS. If not because of time, there is somebody sitting right by me now who has actually experienced the impact of DSA. He has not a platform. Yes, through me. There is somebody sitting near me now listening.
Yeah, they can come on. Why not?
Okay.
Hello.
Ms. Mayowa.
Hello, who is this?
This is Ernest Ochogu.
Hello, Ernest.
Yes, Ernest Ochogu.
Okay.
From Kogi.
Okay.
Yes, I've actually part of Pastor EDWIN AMIMI's team.
Huh.
And I've seen the life of Sunday Adelaja reflecting in his life. I remember when we went to a locality at Massacre, and the very place we could call it a ghetto. And the way he actually showed the people love, it was a crusade, it was an outreach. So the people began wondering that which kind of a man is this very person. And even today, when we went to the school outreach, you could just see the smiles on the people's face. One of the students weeping, she was just seriously crying, and hope was given to the girl. And seriously, like during his birthday celebration, you could just see the love in the eyes of the widows. They were just busy praying for him because of he have really imparted life. But one thing I have noticed with him is that I think there was something he quoted that Sunday Adelaja actually quoted was, you cannot be a success until you raise successful people who will take over you. I don't know if I'm right, because I'm going through Dr. Sunday Adelaja's book on poverty mindset versus abundance. My life is just changing. I'm not going to he just actually make me to love him, and seriously, we are loving him here. We are wishing him many years, and we just want to live that very life of love. Seriously, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a great testimony. Well done. Wow. Wow. Pastor EDWIN. That's DSA Nigeria now. You're the DSA Nigeria. Wow. Well done. Brilliant testimony.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great, great job. So, guys, I think we don't have any more callers. And we are exactly now 10 p.m. in Ukraine. So we've done our dues for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Pastor EDWIN. We appreciate you. We have learned a lot, even through your life, Pastor EDWIN. The fact that you met Dr. Sunday over 10 years ago, and you have seen him, you're still here, is also testament to you yourself as a lover of truth. And we know we love lovers of truth over here, and we appreciate you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the transformation. We really, really do appreciate you, sir. Thank you. So, ladies go ahead.
Like the Ukrainian says, spasiba and slava bogu.
Wow. Spasiba Bashoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys, that's the only Russian I know. Guys, so I'm off now. We are off for today. This is day 24, 24 of celebrating Dr. Sunday Adelaja, learning from his life with experiences from different people, from different points of views. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. I've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow, the day after, and the day after that. And we will see you again. 3 more days, and then the 4th day is Dr. Sunday's birthday. Guys, let me tell you, we're expecting some guests. They will start coming in tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. I love when we have guests in the house, when people come around and I see new faces with new concepts, new ideas, sharing their testimonies. So it's going to be a busy weekend starting from today. Yes, weekend to early next week. So guys, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. I love you. I appreciate you. Happy birthday, Dr. Sunday. Thank you for the great life that you've lived and the experiences and the knowledge that you're impacting all of us. We appreciate you. So for all of us, or all of the people watching, I love you. I appreciate you. And from the team, I want to say goodbye or good night for today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.